It's Wednesday, the 17th of December. From the MEN newsroom, this is Channel M's Lunchtime News, and these are today's headlines. The Brave Journey cancer patient Tom Buckley completes his coast-to-coast charity walk. Also this lunchtime, gold stars all round. The improvements at a school in Bury led by a warm welcome at the gate. Plus, do they know it's Christmas? Pupils in Oldham compare theirs with children in Africa. Good afternoon. First today, it's been a journey even someone in the peak of fitness would find physically gruelling. But a 23-year-old cancer patient from Greater Manchester has completed his coast-to-coast charity walk. Tom Buckley's remarkable fundraising trip ended when he crossed the finishing line in Robin Hood's Bay in North Yorkshire. Ben Bland was there with him for the final few miles.
There were times when I was finishing at 5:30 at night after walking for 7-8 hours, absolutely shattered, and having to get up at 6:30 the next morning and do pretty much the same thing all over again. And for someone who can't really walk very well, it was there were times I'd wake up and just think I just want to go back to bed. But knowing these people that have donated, who've read my story, seen my story on TV, and been inspired by it, it's kept me going.
This is Robin Hood's Bay on the northeast coast, and it marks the end point of Tom's remarkable journey. He started at St Bees Head on the northwest coast on the 29th of November, and now 18 days later he's arriving here, having walked 180 miles and raised £40,000 for the Christie Hospital. Upon arriving at the finish, Tom took some water he'd collected on the west coast and threw it in the sea off the east coast, a tradition for those who complete the coast-to-coast walk.
It's been such a challenge. I've had a lot of falls. My heels, my ankles are just in agony, so it's such a challenge, but to be here, it feels brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I don't want to exaggerate the situation.
A well-earned glass of bubbly was waiting for him at the finish, together with his proud family.
It's amazing, totally amazing. I just remember when we set off, two and a bit weeks ago, and obviously he's actually the only person who's actually done it out of all of us. Obviously my dad and myself have shared a bit with him, but he's done the whole thing, so can't believe we're here, to be honest. But yeah, he's done really well.
Relieved in some respects. I'm sure Dawn will be relieved, but also really happy for him, and I'm very pleased. The public support has been awesome, and that's what's kept him going a lot of the way. So in the end, I just feel really happy for him that he's achieved really what he set out to achieve, which, yes, was walking the walk, but also raising a lot of money for Christie Hospital.
And while Tom might be putting his feet up for a bit, it's clear he's got a taste for more challenges.
There'll be another walking challenge once I get my legs sorted, and it might involve going around Europe and doing a few countries in a few days, sort of thing. That's just the pipeline, but it'll be around February.
Fantastic. Well, we'll watch with great interest. Tom, thanks and congratulations.
Thanks for all your support. Thank you.
Next, we've had more details about how a man whose mutilated body was found at a North Manchester house came to die. That as grieving members of his family pay an emotional tribute to him. Kevin Duffy has the details.
It's emerged today that a man whose headless torso was found at his home was killed before he was decapitated. A post-mortem examination on the body of 63-year-old Patrick McGee has concluded that he died from multiple stab wounds. Mr McGee's severed head was discovered in a wheelie bin by police who went to his home in Parkhill Avenue, Crumpsall, at about 9:20 on Monday evening. In an emotional tribute, his brothers John and Dennis McGee described their late brother as a kind and gentle man, a devout Catholic who enjoyed going to church. Mr McGee had lived in Parkhill Avenue for 50 years and lived there alone since the death of his elderly parents in the 1990s. A 31-year-old man's been arrested on suspicion of murder and remains in police custody for questioning.
The funeral of last of the summer wine actress Cathy Staff is to be held next Tuesday. The 80-year-old, most famous for playing Nora Batty, died at the weekend. Her family and friends will gather for the service at 1:45 at St Mark's Church in Duckinfield, where she was a member of the congregation. The actor Roy Barraclough, who was a close friend, will be one of those leading the tribute. Rochdale DJ Andy Kershaw has been branded disgraceful and pathetic by a judge who sentenced him for breaching a restraining order. The 49-year-old flew back to the Isle of Man voluntarily on Monday and was arrested after his ex-partner reported his return to police. He'd avoided officers for 7 months after fleeing the island and claimed he was on the run and sleeping on friends' floors. The broadcaster pleaded guilty and he was given a 6-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. All UK troops are to be pulled out of Iraq by the end of next July. Gordon Brown has made the announcement on a visit to the country. Both he and the Iraqi Prime Minister say the partnership between the two countries will continue. A school in Bury that was criticised by inspectors for poor standards 2 years ago is celebrating a remarkable recovery, and it's all being put down to pupils there getting a warm welcome every morning. Here's Georgia Calvin-Smith.
Particularly on these cold winter mornings, it can be tough for kids to drag themselves out of bed to make it to the school gates on time. But pupils here at East Ward Community Primary have an extra incentive to do so, because here they get greeted with a VIP reception.
Good morning.
Since taking up their posts earlier this year, come rain or shine, head teacher Ross McMurdo and deputy head Catherine NEVILLE start their school days manning the gates in order to greet children. The personal touch is just one of the simple but effective changes the pair have brought in to turn around a school that just 2 years ago was criticised by school inspectors for its poor standards.
There have been lots of little changes, but that's because we've been able to come in with fresh eyes, if you like, and see what needs to be done and prioritise.
Everyone's been determined to raise the standards at the school and the expectations as well of everyone in it, because the children and the parents in this community need people to be pushing in the right direction for them.
In its latest report, Ofsted has acknowledged the massive transformation the school's undergone. And from having been in special measures, East Ward Community Primary has now been graded as good. And the inspectors aren't the only ones to appreciate the change.
I think it's a really good school, and it's gone even better since Mr McMurdo and Mrs Lavelles came here.
It's good because they've brought nicer things to the school when they've been coming.
Just you see them a lot, because some of them they're hiding in their offices or in school, and the headmaster is always outside meeting you at the gate saying hello.
The teacher's visibility doesn't stop at the school gates. Mr McMurdo will even turn up at the homes of pupils who are regularly absent to offer parents and families support and advice.
And we try and intervene early. If there are any problems with parents, we feel like they can come and speak to us. I've been here since January, Cass been here since September, and parents now know what we're about. To come out of special measures to become a good school is very unusual, but we're not happy with that. We want to become good now, and we want to be outstanding the next time Ofsted come in. That's what we're looking to achieve.
Georgia Calvin-Smith, Channel M News.
The teenager who shot dead Liverpool schoolboy Rhys Jones in a pub car park last year is starting a life sentence. Gang member Sean Mercer will spend at least 22 years behind bars for killing the 11-year-old on his way home from football practice. He was shot in the neck and died in his mother's arms a short time later. Door staff at pubs and bars here in Manchester are carrying out extra searches of women's handbags. They're doing it right through the party season to make sure they're not sneaking in their own alcohol. It's thought there's been an increase of it with the economic problems leaving many people feeling short of cash. Next, if you've been struggling home on packed trams with bags full of Christmas presents, transport bosses have come up with an idea to make the journey easier to put up with. Carol singers have been laid on to provide some festive cheer.
Joyful and triumphant, O come ye to Bethlehem.
It's quite brave on their part, but no, it's really nice. It makes the journey quite pleasant.
We may not have the Transport Innovation Fund money, but for commuters on this tram today, there's a little treat to ensure that we get fully in the Christmas spirit.
I love them. I even joined them, and my daughter was like, you think they are from your church? I'm like, I love singing.
Carols is the best thing about Christmas, and I love singing carols. I'm sure everyone else here does. It's just great to come and share some of that with just everyday people and brighten up people's days.
Metrolink is very much part of the city, of the community, and very much part of people's lives. So we really want to try and bring a bit of festive cheer to our passengers and our customers.
Checking the lunchtime sports headlines for us now is Sam Goodman.
Thank you, James. Well, despite trailing 2-0 with less than 20 minutes remaining, Droylsden are still in the season's FA Cup after last night's tie with Chesterfield, the third time the teams have met. The game was abandoned after floodlight failure. The referee initially called a halt to the proceedings and waited a further 20 minutes for an electrician to fix the problem. But when that didn't work, there was no alternative but to arrange a fourth meeting between the sides.
Due to floodlight failure this evening, we had problems from the beginning of the game with the stands and the clubhouse, and it seems it's got progressively worse during the course of the game, but the referee has officially abandoned the game.
I seen the main stand behind the goals flicker, and then one floodlight went out and two went out. It's happened to other clubs and it'll happen again. It's one for the history books, this one, isn't it? You know, it's fourth game along now, won't it? Or will be, so we'll have to see what the outcome will be.
And the two teams will try again at the Butchers Arms next Tuesday night. Manchester United are preparing for tomorrow's FIFA Club World Cup game against Gamba Osaka, and travelling to Japan can certainly take its toll on anyone, but skipper Gary Neville hasn't been fazed by jet lag and remembers the last time the Reds travelled to Asia.
Well, I remember last time going to Japan, that was probably the most difficult thing for us. I remember going out there and training when we first went out there. It was difficult, the time difference, and this is when you go to Asia. But I think we have got a better preparation for the matches this time than last time. I think last time we only had 2 or 3 days maybe before we played. This time we maybe have 4 or 5, so that'll be better for us.
United will return to the Premier League 2 games behind the other teams, but Sir Alex Ferguson isn't worried by that prospect.
Well, it's not the best in terms of us going for the Championship, but if you ask me if we would like to play in the next year, I would absolutely, without question, I'd love to be there, because you only get there by invitation if you win the European Cup. So that's how prestigious it is for us. It's a fantastic opportunity to be involved in.
Some early team news for United's semi-final game. Dimitar Berbatov is ill, so is likely to miss out, allowing Carlos Tevez to partner Wayne Rooney up front. With a busy holiday period approaching, the Manchester Phoenix secured an all-important victory against the Edinburgh Capitals, thanks to a last-gasp winner by the league's most dangerous goalscorer, David Alexandre Beauregard.
It's easy for you.
Yeah, it's really hard. I thought the guys battled extremely hard the third period. We probably could have not just tied it, but won that with how many chances we had, and we didn't bury, and give them credit. Beauregard does what he does. He got a chance and in essence sealed the game for him. We obviously made a comeback there, but it's obviously pretty hard for us. That's the 11th time this season we've lost by 1 goal. And you know, as I told the guys in there, winning and losing, it's there's not a big difference. And right now we're coming up on the other end, and we need to find a way to start getting points out of those.
Well, it's a lot better being back on the ice than behind the bench. Felt pretty good, and just happy to be out there with the guys, battling with them. Yeah, it was good to come back and get a couple points like that. You know, I didn't really know what to expect, because this week we've been so busy, haven't had much practice. So it was really good to get on the scoreboard as well, because you know, we kind of been needing that. A couple lucky goals around the net, so it was good. Yeah, I'm going to continue to rehab. You know, maybe the rest of the year. You know, just to make sure it's you know, well and strong. It's still a little bit weak, so I'll just continue rehab, and hopefully there's no more complications.
Finally, some brief transfer news for you. Bolton manager Gary Megson has ruled out a move for former United midfielder Nicky Butt, while Wigan manager Steve Bruce might be interested. He's also looking at another former United player, Sunderland's Phil Bardsley. Well, that's all from me for now. Join me again later on, where I'll have more news from Manchester United in Japan.
Thanks very much, Sam. More sport at 5 o'clock tonight. Still ahead then between now and 1 o'clock. The school where pupils are comparing their wish lists to those with pupils at a school in Kenya, and we find out what the chances are of us having a white Christmas here are. Details next. Welcome back to Channel M's Lunchtime News. We've got all of Greater Manchester's top stories for you each day between 12 and 1. Our latest reports are also online at channelm.co.uk. On there right now, the immigration raids at one of Manchester's most famous Indian restaurants and how Channel M's footage helped catch a benefit cheat. That's at channelm.co.uk. Now, it's just over a week till Christmas and school children in Oldham have been comparing their festive wish lists with those from youngsters far less fortunate than they are. The project involves a link-up with pupils in Africa. Beverly Walkden's been finding out more.
I'd like to have a mini iPod about that big and put all my music on it, and I'd like my dad to make my usual Christmas breakfast a bit better with no bacon.
Family's more important.
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
Because toys, you can only play with them for so long. Family are there forever, aren't they?
I can go and see my nanny who lives in Wales on Christmas, because I only see her every 3 weeks. And I miss her all the time.
As part of a school project, these school children have been comparing their Christmas wish list with young people in the slums of Nairobi, a dangerous and unforgiving place.
Zawadi yangu kubwa ya Christmas, ningependa ni watoto wetu waende shule. Hiyo ni tamu kuliko chakula, kuliko nguo na kuliko kila kitu yoyote iko duniani.
Their Christmas wish list has made the school children realise just how lucky they are.
It felt like I was greedy because I had lots of food and water and shelter and a family who cares for me, and they don't.
Homes here are made from cardboard and plastic. People here are getting aid through the Department for International Development, but many orphans suffer HIV, homelessness and starvation. Someone is found dead on this dump every day.
Sababu hizi 3,000 sasa ni after 2 months. Hiyo after 2 months kuna rent ya nyumba, chakula, school fees na kuvaa nguo. Sasa hiyo pesa ni kidogo, lakini ningeshukuru sana hii mradi.
It's horrible to think that people in other countries aren't as fortunate as us, and how they have holes in roofs that they had to make by themselves.
The project has helped turn the children's attention away from toys and to the real meaning of Christmas. Beverly Walkden for Channel M News.
The number of people claiming unemployment benefit has gone past the 1 million mark for the first time in 8 years. It went up by more than 75,000 in November, taking the total to 1,070,000. The total number not employed, including those not eligible for benefits, is now 1.86 million. Here in the North West, there's been the second biggest increase in the country, up 7.2% to 243,000. Unions say they'll fight tooth and nail to avoid any compulsory redundancies after councillors in Oldham approved plans to get rid of more than 500 jobs. Town hall bosses announced the cuts at a cabinet meeting on Monday night and warned that managers will be among the first to go. It's part of a plan to save around £17 million. Scientists say if a child is going to have an obesity problem, the damage will have been done by the time they're just 5. Researchers have found most excess weight is gained by then, with a quarter being overweight by the time they start school. The studies also found that children are fatter today than they were in the 1980s. Now, when it comes to deprivation and unemployment, Failinge in Rochdale is one of the worst areas in the country, but now people who live there are trying to kick-start a rescue plan for the estate.
Failinge, one of Rochdale's most deprived areas. Last month it was labelled the sick note capital of England, with the highest proportion of people out of work and on incapacity benefits. For those who do work, the average income here is the 6th worst in the country, according to government figures. But the people who live here have a clear idea about what needs to change to solve the area's problems.
Now, from when the police had their base in the area, it's changed. You know, a lot of teenagers used to come from outside the area and used to do antisocial things there. Now, from when the police came there, they're not coming as much, you know, just once in a while. It's much better, much safer now at the moment.
We want to put the police there, yeah, because the people drank and do something with no good.
I don't know, maybe more police around, or why not having some security, or maybe employing people to do the security work in Failinge.
Like you see, I mean, maybe you know about it. Not many people got a job there, so why not use them as a security officers so they can at the same time have a job and take care of the, phalange.
And hundreds of others have also taken part in this project to boost phalange. At Rochdale Town Hall, they've been discussing how to make those changes happen, and they're aiming to start putting the improvements in place early in the new year. Ben Bland, Channel M News.
Let's bring you up to date with some breaking news now. And a Rochdale man has been found guilty of murdering his wife in Harare. Taxi driver Michael Bamford shot his wife Ivy in the head with a pistol at their luxury home in Zimbabwe. It was a case that had all the makings of a novel, Manchester Crown Court heard. The couple left their home in Littleborough in 1999 and enjoyed an expat lifestyle. Bamford claimed his wife had a history of depression and shot herself in front of him in August 2004, but this was dismissed by the prosecution. He was found guilty by a majority verdict of 10-2 this afternoon. Next, let's take a look at this afternoon's announcement of the Christmas choir winners, and they'll be joining us in our early evening news programme at 5 o'clock. Here's a look at the performance that got them to the winning post.
Children in the choir, they work very, very hard each year. They give a lot of their own time up. I wanted the children to have some recognition for all the hard work that they do. And I felt that to go in the competition, they would really, really enjoy being filmed.
Good luck to everybody from St Peter's, who will be on at around 5:20 tonight in our early evening news. The weather next, and here with the forecast is Michelle Eagleton.
I have to say it hasn't been a bad morning in most places. I know Preston and Accrington suffered from a bit of rain, but unfortunately I think we're all going to suffer this afternoon. The rain's really going to kick in about 2-3 o'clock along with some strong winds, so keep that brolly to hand. You're going to need it later on because that rain is non-stop overnight into Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. We're expecting some heavy showers. The good news is though, those temperatures are getting better. We're seeing highs of 13 on Sunday.